lesson. I want to show you the difference here, and I want to show you something very, very important, okay? And hopefully this will go a long way. I'm going to do a lesson every day for the member room, okay? And put it out there for you. Okay? So here's today's lesson. Everybody can see this chart, right? Hopefully everyone but Scott. Okay, good. So you know the shortening of the thrust is after result is one of the most important aspects of Wyckoff, okay? So as we go through this thing, you'll notice that you see a lot of shortening of the thrusts. Okay? Well, here you have a market that goes wider bar here, and the volume is here. Not a supply bar, a selling bar. The market then comes down here. This is a shortening of the thrust. Does not mean you can't buy because it's not accumulation, but it's a shortening of downward thrust. The next bar is this way. And I wrote in the newsletter at the time, this is a shortening of the downward thrust. You see that? So it's the quality of the rally that is very, 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 very important. So the quality of the rally, I told you, was labored, wasn't it? If you draw your resistance line across from here and take that across like this, demand or buying has to overcome the selling, right? But it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay? So the market takes one bar down, 1, 2, 3 bars to go up. Do you see that? More labor down than up. If you take this bar across from here, you form somewhat of an LPSY area, right? A little LPSY area. The market's coming from weakness. A potential spring did not make a new high. This came with supply, selling, overcame buying. One bar wipes out 1, 2, 3, 4 bars of work. And then we get to this bar. Shorting of the thrust again. After result, I wrote a newsletter. I didn't think that was. I think we'll go lower. Why? Because once the market's established selling, it's like that Titanic. It's not going to all of a sudden become bullish. The distribution cause, this is really important, of the markup high that we mark. Remember this from last week? When it takes it out, you can't be long anymore. Once these 5 bars get taken out to the downside, it's like kind of this kiss of death, this action-wise. Market labor rally indicates that selling is winning. Market then etched in stone that the market took it out. The market then gets in height in which long liquidation of the market. And then this. So this distribution versus a shakeout trying to thrust to go higher. Do you see that? So the shorting of thrust is not under accumulation. Even if it was, you expect a rally into here. But the point is that the shorting of thrust is just stopping action, and the market got resold back off. So it's weak demand, right? As a result. But this story of weakness has not played out yet. So it's not shorting thrust to go back higher. shorting thrust to go in a sense lower. It's a shorting thrust bar, right? It just happens not to be bullish. Does that make sense? So the explanation of a daily shorting of the thrust bar is extremely important because you have to understand the story. So this is if you look at the surface, this is a problem. This is why you have to retape. On the surface, oh, that's a shorting of thrust. I'm going to be a buyer there. Cover your shorts. We do that. We do that a lot of times. And I said, no. I said, on the newsletter, I said, no, that's not what it is. It's actually weaker. Does that make sense? Now, here, because it's part today, we do have a shorting of the thrust against a buying bar. This is your access line. Access line. There. Okay. You see that? You're not straight. Does that make sense? So this is more of the shorting of thrust wave structure than just this yesterday because it had the next one. I know that you and Jack, I know you and Scott got their own little games, little rules you guys play, but homie don't play that game here. Well, certainly trend lines for sure don't work. We know trend lines don't work, but we do know horizontal. But we do know horizontal lines do work. What's a horizontal trend line? What's a horizontal trend line? I don't know that. Anyway, it's not. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with what I drew?